Well, a very good evening to you. Let's say hello to a few people. Barry, Bob, Chris, Eric, Lynn, Richard, Stefan and Stuart are in the room. If you are an Inner Circle member, pop over to the Inner Circle Facebook group. The link's there to join us on Zoom. And we're going to get going any minute. Hello, good evening, and welcome everyone from wherever you are around the world. Hope you're having a wonderful week. It's very cold here in coldy old England, and you might hear my heater in the background because it's the only way I can stay warm in my office. How are you doing, Robert?
Fantastic. You know, I gotta say thank you, Richard. That post was just what I needed to hear and just what I needed to see, because it was exactly those things that I was thinking about today, saying, if everybody could just focus on one particular thing, one particular thing that they want to do, what their goals are. And every time there's somebody sidetracked and, next shiny object, the next thing to go after, because it got tough. It got difficult. I don't understand, so I'll just waste my money and I'll go do something and waste my money somewhere else because I won't understand there either. And your post just is an inspiration. Here you've been on the fight. You've been on the journey just like I have, maybe at different times and different levels. But the reality is the only ones that lose are the ones that quit. So if you're not going to do anything and you're just going to keep spending money, then, why? Why would you do it? Get focused, work on it. But thank you, Richard. I really appreciate that.
For those that aren't aware, Richard went to our free group and put a post up and shared with people his excitement on how he's doing in his business. And you're doing really well, aren't you, Richard?
Well, yes, thanks. Yes, I've got a couple of clients who've come to me. And so I'm doing it the wrong way around now. And it's in the solar and heat pump market. And they've just chatting. You're just chatting. It was totally out of the blue. And they're desperate for me to sort out leads for them.
Wow.
So,
and what companies aren't? Just tell me that.
Yeah.
Every company out there.
Yeah. And so what's happened just quickly, I've got a number 1 ranking, as I said, site in plumbing for the local area. But I did that the hard way, as I've said. Mm-hmm. And I needed your support. If you remember Robert talking about the back end of MPP and Stephen helping me with Lead Simplify and trying to bring things together. And working, like I said, taking action, getting the content sorted out, getting the SEO sorted out. And it's ranking very well. So I wanted to bring in a sister site now, which is going to be Weatherby heat pumps. So that's in the process of building out. So I've been working hard on content and I've got a person who is a time-served plumber, heating engineer. He wants the leads. And then his partner, his friend, they've set up a business. He's a time-served sparky or an electrician, and he's into solar. And he said, I don't want to be fighting in the domestic solar. I want commercial solar. So
nice.
So we've got commercial solar energy going up, and I'm just in the process of getting some leads sorted for that to kickstart it with some Google ads, actually. And so it's looking very positive, but just winding it up to where we are now, where it's been the hard work, but it's lovely to be able to see things. And then the other side of the coin was the version 2. I wanted an agency site to be able to market what I do, and that just happens to be my postcode LS22 Web Solutions. Well, I haven't done anything really with it. But I understand about keywords. Well, I know a little bit about keywords, let's put it that way. And so I thought, right, well, I'll just start pushing on SEO, Weatherby, local to the area, etc. And it's gone into number one of the 3-pack as well. So,
Hey.
so,
See?
so really the point is, and this is version 3 now, so we don't have to, like we were saying, put the form in and then it comes in and you get it back and it's not, you've got to do it all over again and trying to sort out short codes and that's wrong and thing. It's just so really been looking forward to this. So I thought, look, if there's people who are very new to the group, especially with the Done For You, please get on this training or watch it, because you're going to save a lot of time and trouble that a few of us have been through. But it's by going through that, you know what to do in the future. And now this is the fulfillment of that. So I have another plumbing website, Leeds boiler installations, all ready to rock and roll. It's brand new. But guess what? Because the heating engineer said, "Ooh, I'd be interested in that." So there we go.
And it's one built on top. See, this is perfect, Richard. This is exactly why I wanted to have the contact form in the footer to say, hey, you want a website like this one, right? Because it's always advertising you for the next niche.
Yeah.
And it's perseverance. It's staying with it. It's making all those little choices to know that I'm going to work and I'm going to continue to work and it's going to work for me. But, sometimes I think the biggest obstacle that we face is between here. Keep saying, I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it. But you can, but you have to stay with it. And you have to believe that you can do it. I mean, it's such your proof is in the pudding there, Richard, and it's just going to keep continuing to grow. Well, and you're learning more and more stuff all the time. Not just from us. It's stuff that you might have heard 100 times, but it never clicked. Sometimes it's just this stuff going forward. And because, I hate to say it, but Stephen and I are not rocket scientists. We're just consistent in what we do. And we're always trying to make it easier for you guys to get to that same thing. That's what's important to us. And I like I said, it was just like spot on, because I was getting into a little bit of a rant about people that give up, people that just don't want to take action for whatever reason. And there's going to be a point which you have to be in this to win it, so to speak. And if you're not going to put the effort, then don't waste your money and time. That's the reality.
I think just as an sort of aside as well, Robert, and to both of you, is that we've mentioned it in this group, but again, I suppose it's for new people really coming in, that you've got to believe about the support function that Robert and Stephen and is it Greg who helps and keeps an eye on your tickets, so you don't, and there's other people in the group who'll help as well. And that's so important, because we can all cite examples on this journey where support functions have just not been there. And I've had to go into PayPal and start to do it there or through a credit card to get them to take action, when suddenly they'll get in touch with you. Which, do you want to do business with people like that in the future? No.
Right.
So that's it. So
no, but that's just brilliant. I mean, I'm so excited for you, and I'm so excited for people that hear you in your journey. What did it happen because you snapped your finger? No, you worked. You damn worked hard, and you did. But now you're starting to see that all I got to do is rinse and repeat, and I pick the next niche and I move forward. So we got a lot to cover. But Richard, I was just like, that was just a really generous thing to do, not for us. It helps us, but a generous thing to do for, like you said, the person that watched that video or saw that post that had never heard of us before, that had never, like, all this stuff is BS. It just doesn't work. And when you come on and just tell your story. Now, are you retiring on your third house on the big yacht on the island yet? No, that's next week.
That's just after I built that rocket. Where
Yeah.
Robert said we're
Yeah.
not rocket scientists. Well, I am. It may not get up into space, but it'll still work. But thank you for sharing that post, putting that post up. It just goes to show that if you're in that 20% of people who take action, then you can make money from any of the products we recommend. And people know with me and Robert that we'll only email products that we use ourselves and we recommend. So if you're on one of my email lists, you go down, and I said this to someone today, that, I'll ask Richard the question, how often do I send you out an email going, buy this, buy that?
Well, you don't,
No.
that's...
Because I'm a great believer in only recommending products I am using myself, right? And every product we recommend, I am using myself. And it's within this niche of building websites, which tonight we're going to be doing the website agency. And that's going to be super exciting. And all being well, everything should be all good. So,
okay, Richard. So
yeah,
I'm gonna pre-warn you. I'm gonna do the spoiler, right? You're gonna have to go through some paint drying tonight. All right, because we're gonna go from the beginning.
That's good.
We don't like to leave people out. We want to go from as far back as we can to make sure that everybody gets it and gets going, and know that there is no stupid question. There is no dumb question. There's only the questions that you don't understand, that you need clarification to move forward. And that's what's most important. So, but what's really exciting is we're going to get into, I don't know if we're going to get that far tonight even, but we're going to get into the mass code builder and the mass location builder, which is what Stephen, more than me, spent countless hours, days, weeks with so many developers to get these things penciled in from the basics to where they are today, which I can't even tell you, from what we started with to what we have. It's just incredible, and it's going to make life easy for everybody. So Richard, thank you. And we'll talk more.
No, thank you, Richard. While we've been talking, I'll just take out moving spotlight, because of security and other stuff like that. I've been actually buying a domain name on NameSilo to see if the theory works, and I'm just going to check that. NameSilo recently has been doing this really weird thing where you buy it and it sits on PayPal for God knows how long. I've messaged them about it, and I've cleared my cache as well. So, and then you come back into your account, and suddenly the domain name is all good. So I'm just checking I've got it in there, because I'm going to walk you through how we set up the domain name. Now the SSL security on this domain name won't go active for half an hour, so I've got a second domain name lined up, which we'll set up tonight, and then this one I will also set up, and then we'll follow this one on future weeks. So I'm just going to share my
before
screen.
you even start, Stephen, I just want to say, for those watching this video that have never put up a website, that has never started this journey, you have to own a domain name. That is your one digital asset that you own. Actually, you don't own it. You're paying for it yearly to keep it maintained. But at the end of the day, you have to have a domain name for your business and what you're going to do for a website. You have to take that domain name and you have to do what they call setting the domain name servers. This is a process that everybody has to do. And once Stephen's going to go through this process, but I just wanted to say this generally, because there are people that don't understand this part. They don't understand why, if I bought the domain name, I should be good to go. No, you bought the domain name, you're going to have it listed in a registrar, and then you're going to point that domain name at a hosting company so that it goes out live on the web. So the hosting company then makes it live for the internet. And Stephen's going to show you that little bit of a process, but that's a confusion for people. But when you have different hosting companies and different registrars, there's hundreds of them that you can buy domain names from. And it's one of the things that we always prefer, because we just had another instance of that today, where different hosting companies have different things that may stop you from building as easily as you could be building with us. And we can support you better when you have your domains hosted on our accounts. You don't have to, it's not mandatory. But when there's a little glitch or there's a little problem, it's you and your hosting company that have to resolve it. We can't help you. If you're hosted with us, then we can go in from the back end and look at what's going on and help you on the hosting side.
So earlier on, I searched for Somerset Web Agency. I did a search and I managed to get the .com, as you'll see now. If you want .co.uk versions in the UK, you have to go to Names Cheap, because NameSilo only doesn't do .co.uk's. And I probably spelled that wrong. SOMER, Somerset Web. Why is this Somerset? I already added this to the cart, I thought, because it's showing Somerset. Websites.com is what I got, not web agency, so that's all right. So somersetwebsites.com. In NameSilo, we click on the domain name and it will eventually load. I don't like doing things live because I know they're going to go wrong. So if they do, we're going to have warts and all tonight. But it's all part of building a rocket when it doesn't take off. Right, so on our hosting, we're going to put in the name servers. So ns1.lgmdns, ns2, ns. Can you admit whoever's asked to come in, Robert?
Yep.
ns3, ns4. So the ns1 lgmdns.com up to ns4. We'll let this update. Take a moment or two. Now, name servers take up to 24 hours to fully update. So I was showing you that bit in there purely on the point of view so that you understood how to update them in here. Now, if we come over to here, here's one I made earlier. Famous term in the UK if you look up Blue Peter. And inside of the hosting, if it's all been set up correctly, you'll have this option. So you'd end up inside the dashboard. Let's come back to home a minute, I'll show you. Once you signed up, you'll land on here, you go into your client area, click on hosting. And then add hosting at the top. And then in here, you want to select your allowance, depending on what plan you'll be on, will depend what shows up here. And then we enter in the domain name, and you need to remove the HTTPSs and slashes and click add hosting. So take a few minutes. You can also migrate sites over to our hosting using the migration feature, but there's a little bit involved with that. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It's a bit flaky. If you want to migrate your site, to be honest, I would add the domain name first, use WP Vivid to back your WordPress site up and do a fresh install of WordPress and restore it here. But that's another piece of training we can come into at a later time. So we've now got it all added, and I'm now going to click on Manage. And the first thing I want to do, providing the name servers have updated themselves properly, you're going to search at the top for SSL. This is the security padlock, which ends up appearing at the top here. And we want to activate the free SSL. If it says on here that your name servers aren't pointed, but you've left it for 24 hours or so, clear your cache and reboot your router, because sometimes it's your internet connection that will not show that. If you're on our hosting and it hasn't done it, reach out to us and we can go in and check it for you, and sometimes we can activate it for our support desk. Second thing is to force HTTPS. What that does is if you've got a non-secure site, which is HTTP, this will forward any HTTP links to HTTPS, making the site secure automatically. That's the SSL certificate part. Just to let you know, on our hosting, to set up an email account, you have to allow half an hour for it to actually go live. So I recommend to people that you set yourself up an email address as soon as possible. For example, I'll do that and add email account. And it's because it has to go over across all the servers, and that's the same when you do an email forwarder. We click on email forwarding. I can now say add email forwarder, so anything from Steve can come into support at dfymagicbeans.com and add forwarder. So I will leave that for half an hour, which is why I set this up first of all. And then what we will do is come back to the main account. So up the top here, we got a live local client area. So I'm going to click on the live local tab. And now I'm going to scroll to the bottom, and it will take a moment or two to load. And down here, I've got WordPress. We're going to click on WordPress. Let's get rid of that. And now we're going to install WordPress, and it's as easy as clicking install WordPress. This will take a few moments to load up. I do like this platform for how easy it is to install WordPress and your SSL security. When we get on to setting up the Magic Code Builder, word of warning, you need your SSL to be active for it to work properly. So now, don't click on the bottom one, otherwise you'll end up with a weird URL on your website. Click on the main domain, which is, on my case, alivelocal.com. Now, at the moment, it's saying the SSL is not active because this is still a relatively new domain. We're going to go advanced, and I'll accept the risk. And give it a moment or two, because I know for a fact that I've literally just clicked on it, and it can take a moment or two for this to go live. So let's have a look on the different browser a minute. Let's just have a look a second. Get another screen up and see. Right, let's share that again. I'll show what I'm going to do. Right, so if you do get an error, and occasionally this if it's a new domain name, it will play up. What you can do is actually click on the temporary URL link and do the install as normal with WordPress, and then I'll show you how to change that as an extra thing. I'm just going to pause my screen while I enter in some login details.
So just to repeat, you have to start with the domain name. You have to set the DNS, or the domain name servers, to be pointing at the hosting company of your choice, whether it's your own or another one or ours. We're not saying one versus another. We just have different things that come up. And now Stephen is taking the actual domain name and putting WordPress on it on the hosting.
Yeah. Not let me in. Oh, I know why. The wrong password in, that'd help. So now we've done this, if I now refresh this page, this should now load, and I'll show you what's going to happen. I don't know why it's still forbidden. That's an interesting error. I'll have to talk to tech support why I did that. But we can still continue to build on on here in the first place. So once it's live on the front end, and occasionally it does play up, what we can do is, once you see it live on the main domain, you'll come into settings and general, and you'll update this to be your main domain name, HTTPS, and the actual proper domain name rather than what these are on both. And we'll revisit this as soon as my tech guys have fixed that issue. I told you things go wrong sometimes. The other thing we can do is I can remove the domain name as an admin. You'd have to raise a support ticket and we'd reinstall it again. But let's go and do the install on the temporary domain and let's see what's going to happen. So next we want to come into plugins, add new. I'm going to upload a plugin. Not upload, sorry. I'm going to search for a plugin. Been a long day. And we're going to search for WP Vivid. And install now. And click activate. And now we're ready for the site file. Switch over screens and find the right one. There we are.
So I'm just going to interrupt for a second, Stephen.
Yeah.
What I want everybody to understand at this point is you have a fresh install of WordPress. There's really nothing on it. And what Stephen just did was added a plugin to the WordPress site because he's going to be adding the Done For You Magic Themes website file. And when we talk about a website file, we're not talking about a template. We're not talking about just a basic theme. We're talking about a fully built, content-rich, complete website. All the pages are there. Everything that site needs to get going has already been added to it, except your basic information, the domain name, your phone numbers, addresses, the basic information that you're going to add to it to make it your own. But the rest of the site has been all the way built. So Stephen is going to take one complete file that is the website that took months to build. There's no mistake. It takes a lot of work to build these websites. But at the end, when you just have a website file, it's a simple upload and then a restore.
Yeah. Right, let me resume that. So then you come over to your members area, and to get to that, you go to members.dfymagicthemes.com, and you would have had your login sent to you if you haven't raised a support ticket or email support@DFY Magic Themes. And next, we're going to come into, I've come into the agency website theme, and the next step now is to come to theme download, and all the trainings in here, how to install the theme, as we're going to do now. And you can click on it or right click and save as. And as you can see, it's now downloading. And then I've finished downloading. Shouldn't take too long. And now we've got the complete file with all the content on it. So next, I'm going to come back to my site. And we want to now upload the file. So click upload, go and find your file. Be in downloads, here it is. And now click upload. Now this will take a few minutes to run. Sometimes it's super quick, sometimes it can take a while. So if there are any questions while we're waiting for that to upload, then let's have a look through some of the things on here. So,
well, I just want to say real quick that don't get impatient. Don't get click happy when you're uploading this file. This is a big file. There's a lot of information in that, and depending on internet speed, what's going on with your computer, how many windows you have open, so on and so forth, it can take time. So don't start clicking, because if you start clicking and you don't think it's doing anything, it's catching up. So give it the time to do what it needs to do. It'll show you 2%, 10%, 12%, 8%, whatever, you know, and let it do its thing. And if you start clicking, what's going to happen? It'll probably hurt the upload, and you'll have to start over again. or you'll have some other problems, which you'll be turning in support tickets. So we're trying to tell you in advance, let it work.
Yeah. I'm just looking through some of the chat. Who's got the best? Who's got the best domain name? And
Steve Dimick.
yeah. So to answer Bob's question, the hosting now is on DFYMTS.com for the link to get through to where the hosting is, and anyone who needs to get access to this version hosting, just raise a support ticket with us, and we'll get straight onto it and make sure you're fully set up. Sitting on the beach websites.com. I love that, Steve. That's brilliant. DFY websites for sale. I know. So I won't name what the domain name is, but there's someone in the room who got a brilliant one today when I was talking to him earlier. I thought, hats off for getting that one. That's going to be awesome. I can see him on screen. Can we share it? Do you have a big thumbs up? Okay, because it is buildrankRent.com. What a great domain name.
You got it backwards, but it's okay.
Sorry?
I think you said it backwards.
Oh, build rent rank.
Yeah.
buildrentrank.com. Sorry. A tongue twister, isn't it? As
it
always.
Is, and you have to think about it because we're not the industry standard, and all that matters.
It's literally the idea behind these sites is to get them built, get them up, get them being seen online, and get friends and family and people in your local area to share the site out there on their social media to get a few links back to it. And it is literally that. It's get it rented out. The thing is, in past weeks we talked about EL Messenger Pro, and EL Messenger Pro itself, I think it is a great product for people to be using. It's easy way to get people into your own groups, and that's the thing I always say to people is it's all about setting up a group itself of your own and getting local businesses into that group. I'll just click on that. So get people in local business into your own group, get them to share their own stuff in their own groups all the time, and by people sharing inside your group, they don't work for you. So that's the cool thing about EL Messenger Pro is you go and become friends with other people in other local business groups. Once they know you, you go into those groups and post up, comment on things, get known in those local business groups. Then when you send a friend request through the automated software, they go, oh yeah, I know him in that group. I'll be friends with him. Once they're friends with you, you invite them to your own group, build the group up, and then say, "We'll share your business." And if you can automate, the best thing of all, if you can automate the system for posting to your group and on your Facebook pages, you can say in your group, hey, it's share your business on a Monday. Get people to share a bit about the businesses. Find out who's in your group. Imagine if you had, 15 electricians suddenly joining the local area, right? And they're sharing stuff about themselves. And you've got 15 electricians, and you can go and look at what they're doing. Please share your website. Go and have a look at their websites. Have they got a website? No. Well, then if you've got 2 or 3 people who haven't got a website, then you can set up an electrician site in that area. And by setting that electrician site up, you can say, hey, go and check out this electrician site. Tell me what you think. People go, wow, that's awesome. And the people who haven't got a website, in fact, even the people who have, and you just simply go, hey, want to rent this website from me? They go, how much? $97 a month. It's a foot in the door to get them on board with you and give them a very small location area. So if they're based in London, give them a very small area of London. If they're based in New York, a very small area in New York. If they're based in Bristol in the UK, just a small area in Bristol. Because then you can turn around and say, right, next step for you guys is to have more areas, have a wider area. Then you up the money. During that time while you're renting it and you've got that money coming in, think about, you can use the money as well, right? for an example, to pay someone on Upwork or on Fiverr to go over the whole site and really SEO the site out fully for your local area. You know, you can pay someone $100 on Upwork to come and do that, change pictures out, do the alt images, all sorts of stuff on the site you can pay someone to do. And when you've got $100 coming in a month, how easy is that, you know? And think about it this way. If you could get 10 clients on board at $100 a month, that's $1,000 a month in your pocket, or, you know, just below $1,000 a month in your pocket every month. Then you double it to 20. That's $2,000 a month. $2,000 a month for most people is a great wage. But then you sell them other services.
Exactly.
You offer them, extra. I'll look after you. I'll do all your social media for you. But that's $150 a month. I'll do
More
this
location
for you.
pages.
Right. Then you arbitrage it so that you've got someone on Upwork or Fiverr doing the work for you for $25 a month or $50 a month, whatever, and you've got $50 in your pocket for just giving it to someone else. You know, and you get to know your devs. You'll get to meet some good devs that you trust in your business. So, but coming back to this, it's now uploaded and I've clicked OK. I now want to restore it. So we've got the restore button there. I'm going to click restore and hit restore again. And are you sure? That's because it's going to wipe over the entire site and blank it. So if you had something on there before, it will mess up most likely. This is why we have a blank installer WordPress. Let it run. It'll be a good test tonight, Robert, because I know we had a customer of ours who had a problem with the licensing on the MCB, and I think it was down to security, and this domain name isn't secure. So it'll be a good test tonight to see if that's the case, or if it's something to do with that particular hosting. So again, this is going to take a moment or two to run, because it's going to have to install it. Sometimes the restore can take a while, so let it run. Go and get coffee. Spend time with a cat or something. And go and chill out for a little while. It all comes down to your host, and as you can see now, it says restore complete. It's all successful. Click OK. We can leave the page because it's all good. It says, please log in again. In some cases, it might just kick you out and log you back in anyway. So let's refresh the page. See what happens. I think I have to come back to WP admin because Firefox is throwing a wobbly tonight. Let's see what happens. There we go. Now, to get logged in, I'm going to find the username and password a second. So if I had it here somewhere.
So to be clear, you started with a domain name and you put WordPress on it, and you probably put an admin and a special password, and you wrote all that down, which is perfect. But as soon as you came in here and decided you're going to do a WP Vivid backup restore, well, guess what? All that stuff that you did is now not on that site.
Yeah.
The website that we gave you in the file is on that site. And where's the information that you need to go find to log into this new restore is in your members area.
Yeah, I'll show that now. Ooh, come on. Right. So if I bring this over, I've got to shrink the window down a minute because I have to do this and do that. Right. So on here, and I don't mind sharing this because these are our default logins for our builds, and you need to change this to your own. So it doesn't matter if it's known publicly. Really important that you're going to change this out yourselves. All right. We're going to do that now by jumping into the wrong one, that one there. No, let me find the right one a minute. Oh, where's that gone? Too many windows open today, Robert. That's why my office is closed. Cold, I mean. Let me find where that's gone. That's better. Right. Got it back up. Okay. So we enter in the login details. I'm telling not to save for now. Let's see if the site's come up on the main domain as yet either. It hasn't. I'll message support and get them to fix that. Normally it will load fine and we don't have that issue. So we're back in here now, and I'm now ready to carry on with the settings. So the first thing I want to test tonight, because I want to make sure that this is working, and interestingly enough, it's already got a license in there, which is a bit weird. Let's log out and check it. This is where I break it. So when you guys load into this, it won't have the license loaded already, and it'll say add license, and then we activate the license here. This one here that I created myself will be cancelled. And you can see on this occasion, it's returning an error from the server. That's because it's a non-secure site at the moment. And I need to ask support. I don't know if I've got anyone on at the minute to make the SSL go through, which is what we're waiting on at the moment for the SSL to go live. So what I'm going to do is switch to another window, and we'll show what the theme, one of the other theme on another site is. So it's really important to have your SSL active. If you have any issues, you can raise a support ticket, and we'll be there for you. Let me just remind myself what the site was a minute. DFY. What's the URL? It's always the way, Rob, that you can't remember what the URL is when you wanted it.
Of course.
Yeah. Let's come back here, be on one of these. Try this one. Yeah. You can see. Okay. Completely forgotten the URL of the demo. No. Oh, there it is. I think I found it. Yay. Right. Let's move this up to there. All right. Just get logged in a minute, and then I can share again. That it's forgotten the password. And I knew, when I do things live, it always plays up. Something has to happen. Try that one. We will get there in a minute. It's going so well till now. What was your one, Robert? Was it prospermk.co that we've used before?
Yeah, that was one of them. Then we did another one after that. Best.
I've got it. Best website builders. Let me see if I can get into that one a minute. I should have saved the passwords earlier. Right, yeah, I think I can get to that one. WP admin. We'll show you the admin. I've done this so many times that that something always. It's interesting how things go wrong on the lives, but it also shows you that hosting systems can play up. It's always the way, and sometimes it's just what it is, and that's why we are there for the support.
Yep. I was just say that's what brings up. You don't know what you don't know, and you did something. Now I can't get it to work, and I'm stuck. Yeah. What do I do? Instead of going out to buy the next shiny object, you get help, and you get through all of the stepping stones that you have to make it work.
Yeah, and please don't struggle. Right, No, it's the old thing that you could spend 5 hours pulling your hair out and trying to work out what's going on. We'd rather you reach out to a support ticket and go, help, I've done the install, right? Because it may be something that me, Robert, or Greg can take 5 minutes to fix, and then we do a Loom video to show you what we did. And it may, we've tested this on, I've tested on 5 different hosts, and so far it's worked every time. Sod's law tonight that it's played up. But once it's installed and you're ready to roll from here, there's a couple of things that we need to do. It's in the training anyway, but I'll show you. The first thing is to come into permalinks and just update them, because sometimes it'll play up. And between now and next week, I will have the Alive Local one all set up correctly and running smoothly. So we've got post name, which is what it needs to be on. Just click save just to make sure. And once it's updated, we'll show you where the business contact information is. And the rest of the training is inside the members area on setting these up. And I've gone over it this week. I did 5 different installs, different server services, and it worked every time. So but hosting's hosting at the end of the day, and that's why we're here to support you. So on the DFY Magic Code Builder, you come in and you've got your company info, and this will be the first one that you want to change and update. And in the training, we talk about changing the username and passwords on the account. That's in the members area. We've updated all the members with access they should have. If you haven't got access, reach out to us.
Steve,
yeah.
Let's just back up just for a minute so that people can understand what has changed. What is the big deal about any of this stuff? The DFY Magic Code Builder is now where all your short codes are either pre-installed for you if you have a Done For You Magic theme. If you don't have any of our websites, then the Code Builder allows you to build your own codes, and you can put them anywhere on your site. That's what it's designed for. So we're using it as a standalone problem solver for short codes. And it also has allowed us to overcome a lot of the nuances that MPP had with short codes. So by putting it in our own plugin of just short codes and how we create them, it just gave us a whole new way to build. Now, you have no problem using the short code builder with MPP and with many other page builders. That's the beauty of it. Going forward, when you get a Done For You Magic theme site, all the short codes are inside of it. They're already pre-built with the content. And then Stephen's going to show you, you just simply go in and edit the company information. It really made it simple. And I just wanted you to understand what that difference is, and then we'll get into the MLB later.
So if we load, I'll let that site load in the background. So good example is the phone number, all right? And there's 2 versions here. There's the phone code and the phone. The phone one is the displayed number. So for an example, in the UK, you could have Bristol 0117 as the phone code, then a space, and there'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 as the number. But when people click on that, your mobile phone has to convert it, and it doesn't do a very good job. So what you need is the international format, which would be 44. You drop the 0, so it'd be 1179, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the one that's displayed on the pages is called phone, and the one that's clickable and dialable is phone code. All right. And on here at the moment, we got the top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If I come now into the phone one and hit edit, what's great about the new builds, we used to have a form on our members area, and that form you'd fill in and follow the instructions and then upload the file into Magic Page plugin. We've done away with that form now, which means you can edit the codes in here. The advantage of that is if, let's say, the phone number was the very last thing on your form after you re-uploaded it, you'd have to go next, 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 next again, and next again. Now with this, you can edit it as you go along. So you can say, okay, I've got my phone number now, and I'm going to add the phone number in here. So let's just say it was 01212 1, 2, 1, 2, and then let's say it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. When we click save on this, and by the way, on the training we say about having it in text mode, and the reason for that is having it in text mode, the colors on the page shouldn't change. Occasionally on some themes, it makes whatever color you've got in here instead of on the theme. So we got it in text mode, and we're going to update it. So now, once this is updated and I refresh this page here, this here, anywhere on the site where the phone number is, and we've also got it in the footer down here, is going to change that phone number throughout the site. What's great about our new Magic Code Builder is it makes the theme standalone. That means you do not need a mass page builder with these, right? So if you are starting out and you couldn't afford a mass page builder, what you can do is install this theme, duplicate one of the pages 5 times in the local area, and add the locations manually if you wanted to. We recommend using a mass page builder because it's just a lot easier to do that, and that's why we call them local page builders, and not to go mad with it. And that we'll be adding that in the training in the coming weeks. So you can now see the phone numbers change. Now it's going to be small, but in the bottom left hand corner you can see the telephone number at the minute on the site is different. 1334444. In fact, I've noticed on the theme, Robert, we need to let the devs know that the footer one has got the wrong code in it. We'll get that updated tonight. So don't go. If you want to be able to change it, it's easy. We'll do a little video on how to change that inside the menus to be correct. But on here, we've got the phone number. So if I now come in here, I come back to our company info one, I can now change the phone number on the code as well. And so the idea will be then when you hover over it, that one changes. Okay, that's interesting, Eric. Eric changed the city, but the front page, right? It may be. Did you change it inside of here? Because it's actually location. I think you find, and that's
well. There's a city code and there's a location,
and the devs didn't put it in there. So I'll show Eric where that is. So under all shortcodes, Eric, we'll do that update as well tonight, Robert. We'll get that added into here. So if you're planning on downloading this theme, download it tomorrow because the updates will be on there later on. Occasionally, we're all human. There are things that are missed. I try and check it all on all themes that are built. So under all shortcodes, what I do screen options, and I make this larger than the maximum number of shortcodes. And once that's done, we click on the 3 dots of your browser, do find. Now I can put in LOCAT, and we want to find the single location one. So it's not them. Just keep looking down, and it's down here. So this one here should have been added to the company info area, and for some reason the devs didn't. So if you hit edit on this one, I won't, because this is one of Robert's sites. Is it based in Orlando, Robert? This one?
That's what we built it at the beginning for.
Yeah. So now you can change the word Orlando in here, and that'll change site wide. All right, Eric, and we'll make sure that that's added.
Go ahead and change it to Wellington because that's really where it should be.
Yeah. So to change the shortcodes as well, we got the categories down the bottom here. So I'm going to put it under company info where it should be, and we'll change it to Wellington.
Now this is very difficult. Watch.
And we'll update it. While we're on here as well, I'll show Eric where to change the option of that code that's wrong. So what you want to do is come into company info. What's great as well about the plugin, when you first create the shortcode, label it properly as what you want the shortcode to be, because then after you can come back in and change the title down this side. So we got the phone code one, and I'm just going to copy this out now. So I've got a copy, and we're going to come into appearance, and customize. And I said, all this training to do the installs is already inside the members area. And I've gone over it 3-4 times to check it. I don't think I've missed anything. So when we come into here, it is, I think I might go, let's see if it's going to, yeah, there we go. We scroll to the bottom and hover over this and hit the edit button. And then where we've got the phone number, which is just here, hover over it, hit the link. And this is where it needs to be added for the phone, but you need to put the word TEL in front and colon, and then hit that there. And that should now be, in theory, if I've done it right, the correct link. So let's publish it. And let's go and check it as well to see if that's updated properly. I'll check over the site tonight, Robert, and recompile it. But when we've refreshed it, let's come down a minute and just check. Why is that just done what it's done? It might be the permalinks. So let's come back.
I think you did the compile on a different domain anyway, Steve.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you're right. It might be correct on the main builds.
I think it is.
So permalinks. Occasionally when we update stuff, it throws a wobbly.
No, so the reality is it's a restore file. It's come in and changed those, whatever there are 16 or 18 different company information fields, and this site would be finished. But we went to a site that wasn't, it still has some bugs in it that were not completed, because we work on different domain names at the same time with different devs so that we can get things done faster.
Yeah.
And in the long run, we take all of those, put them together into one site, and it's compiled as a site build for you.
But you can see now I've updated the link. It now says in the bottom tail 133444444, which is the code that's inside of our builder, company info, and the phone code itself. We'll let that load. And then we come into phone code, edit. And throughout the week, we're going to be scheduling up this exact build to go out into the groups, so you can watch it again from there, and also in the members area. So you can see this has got 1333, so I can change this now to 44 1 2 1. I can't remember the number, so I'll make it up 1 2 3 4 5 6, and then we do update. So everything changes all the way through. There's the opt-in form section there. Your social media links go into this one. And some of the others you don't have to worry about. We've got one called Own Shortcodes, where you can create your own shortcodes and put content in and put the shortcode on the page. The content one, don't worry about for now. There's a lot involved in the back office, as you can understand with these builds. What we do say to people, if you're planning on changing content, we recommend duplicate a page and have a play around with these builds. That's what I'd recommend. And we'll refresh now. While that's refreshing, something else that we've added now under tools, and this version has this got it installed? No. Okay. I was hoping that this is the backup build we had. So let's add new plugin. I'll show you two plugins that you can add yourselves in here.
I want to answer a question before we get too far away from it.
Yeah.
Stefan had asked, what's the difference between city and location, and where do you use it on the site? To be clear, what location is going to be location pages. So as you're using the MLB, you're going to have different location pages for the surrounding cities of your build, like the central location. However, when you have a build for your company information and you're looking at the footer, the standard address, the standard phone number. That company information is going to be on the footer, which goes on every page. So if your plumbing company is based in Orlando, then you want the city to be constantly be saying that the plumbing company main headquarters is in Orlando. But yet, when you build all the city pages, they're going to be the location pages around Orlando. So you have to have a difference between the two for just that reasoning. And then in addition to that, later on when you get into the SEO stuff, you'll have schema, and schema will pick up on different shortcodes for city and locations.
Yeah. And with our next versions coming out as well, me and Robert talked about simplifying all the code throughout the site for people. This was originally built to work with Magic Page plugin, and we've updated it now to also work with the Magic Location Builder. So that's the thing we're working towards all the time. Richard, we haven't built in the schema because it can conflict. For an example, right? You're going to use Magic Page plugin to build your location pages. That's got some schema built in. If you choose to use rank math, which you can, if you don't, with Magic Page plugin, there's only 2 SEO plugins that work. The one that's built into MPP or Exargio. If you're not using Magic Page plugin and you're using our MLB, then you can use rank math, SEO Press, and Yoast. And those 3 will work with our shortcodes. Now, why would you want them to work? Well, because when you do the SEO for the location pages, which we're going to go into training at a later time, you'll want to be able to add the shortcode in there. So when you generate the pages, the SEO, for an example, would say something like, we are the best web page suppliers in location. All right. And you can do that with either. But what we found out is if we try and pre-install all of that into rank math and you remove it, the SEO goes. So we've basically said we're going to teach people how to SEO it up. And plus, if we did all the same SEO on every single site, right, that may come down to how much you can spin it, how much you can do with it. SEO it up yourselves to your local area and add local keywords in. It makes it far more unique.
Correct.
And that's the bonus, right?
And again, it's not about what we do. We're doing all the basic stuff for you to get you guys started. But everybody's knowledge, and everybody's going to gain more and more knowledge. We're going to teach you all that we can, but as you gain your own knowledge, it's nice to be able to change your own SEO settings to benefit your location, your builds in what you're doing, instead of going based on the general SEO. So you'll be able to fine tune things in the future. Yeah. And that's we don't ever want to hold you back from being able to run your own business the way that you want to run it. And that's why this became so exciting, because we're allowing other page builders, we're allowing other SEO plugins to work. Your hands are no longer tied in what you want to do.
Yeah. So I've just gone and installed a plugin called Real-Time Find and Replace. And what we love about this, under Tools and Real-Time Find and Replace, if we come onto the site here and do a search, let's do a find, and let's look for the $sign. And we've got a $sign here. If I want to change that to a £sign, I come into here, I click Add, and I want to find the $sign. And I want to change it to the £sign. And we're going to update settings. And you can add as many of these as you want. And when we come back here, I'm now going to refresh. Hopefully it's done it in enough time. And we're going to see if we've got £signs in place in a moment. So, and each time I refresh, the content changes on the site. So we're going to now find, and we first look for the $sign, see how many it finds. Didn't find any. Let's see if we find some £signs then. And it's found 1 or 2. Here we are, £sign. So you can see instantly we can change things on the site wide. We want to change SEO out, the word SEO. we can grab that and come back in here, add a new one, and we can place it in there, and we'll place it for the word pink, just for a bit of a laugh, since it's Robert's site.
There you go.
And we're going to do a refresh. Hopefully I haven't left it too long. When it comes back, I'm now going to search for the word pink. I can't type tonight. Let's see if it's found it. But SEO and see if it still finds. We should have changed that. Maybe I didn't update it quick enough. Let's just add one more in case it's lowercase sensitive. A moment or two to update yourself. Here we go. Content there. Let's go and find it. No SEO, so PINK. And here we go. It's replaced it. Small business pink company. So you can change words out now really quickly. So we know one of the bugbears that people brought up with us was the fact converting it from the USA language to the UK. And the reason we build in the US language is it's our biggest market. So the nice thing is now, if you see a word that you want changing, it will change that word throughout the whole site. So be a little bit careful, because obviously some words can mean different things in different sentences occasionally, but most of the time you can change it out, and then when you want to change it back, you just remove it, and it will switch it all back accordingly.
We will get into this later.
Yeah.
But before you start getting into those kind of changes, always have a backup of your site.
Yes. Yeah. Do a
Just
backup.
Don't start making big changes. I mean, you can always do a restore, but you're starting over again after a restore. We want to move you forward. But I think to recap, because we're getting into further than we thought we would as far as the first build.
Yeah.
We got a domain name. We set up the name servers. We got the hosting, the domain name added to the hosting, and we put WordPress, fresh WordPress, put in a plugin for WP Vivid. We did the plugin from the repo instead of uploading it. You can add plugins to WordPress from either one. If it's in the repo, you can just go search. If it's not in the repo, you'd have to upload it. The repo will not have our website files. That's why you have to upload the website file to do the restore in WP Vivid. But as you can see, once that was done, you had a full site built. You just had to add in your company information. So you can look at those shortcodes in company information and know that those are going to have to get filled in. And very important, all of the company information shortcodes have got to have something in it. You may not notice right away that it didn't seem important to you, but the reality is, like for example, there's a shortcode for website, meaning the website URL. We don't know what domain name you purchased. So your website URL is unique. So you take your website URL without the front end, without the HTTPS, without the HTTP, none of that stuff, just a basic domain name. You go into that shortcode and you have to fix that for website. Why do you have to fix it? Because we've already added the website shortcode into a privacy page for you until you get to your legal pages. So we took your domain name that we didn't know, we took the shortcode and put it into the legal page. Yeah. So when you fill in that shortcode, that legal page will get filled in with the company name, the website URL, etc., until you fix your own legal pages.
Now I'm going to pause you there, Robert. We're going to say goodnight to all the free groups, and then we're going to go directly into the inner circle only and carry on there. If you want to join, it's dfymagicthemes.com/live for you. We have left open the Black Friday deal for our websites at the moment because there was a bit of an issue on the server and some people said they couldn't get in. And you can go to dfymagicthemes.com/BF for Black Friday. We will be closing that down soon. And good night to all the free groups.
Thank you all for watching. Glad you stopped me, Stephen, because I was about to tell them about the you-know-what.
It's interesting, isn't it, that we ought to start talking about the you-know-what any minute now.
Yeah.
And, the you-know-what is actually quite important to talk about.
Absolutely.